Damon Salvatore is often remembered as the charming, sarcastic, dangerous vampire who smirks through pain and masks heartbreak with humor. But beneath that confident exterior lies one of the most tragic journeys in the Vampire Diaries. Damon's life is not a tale of villainy, it is a story of constant loss, rejection, and emotional starvation. Every cruel action he commits is deeply rooted in wounds that were never healed. From the very beginning, Damon's existence is defined by being second best. Second to his younger brother Stefan, second in his father's eyes, and eventually second in love. These repeated emotional rejections slowly shaped Damon into someone who believed love was temporary and pain was permanent. His struggles were not sudden, they accumulated over centuries. What makes Damon's suffering unique is that it is rarely acknowledged within the story. While other characters are forgiven, comforted, or redeemed openly, Damon is expected to endure silently. He is punished not only by the world around him but also by his own guilt and self-loathing. Throughout the Vampire Diaries, Damon repeatedly chooses love, only to be met with loss. He gives loyalty and receives abandonment. He sacrifices, yet is remembered only for his mistakes. This imbalance between effort and reward slowly breaks him from the inside. Damon Salvatore's struggles are not just physical or supernatural, they are deeply emotional and psychological. His pain comes from loving too deeply in a world that never chose him first. And that is what makes his story one of the most heartbreaking arcs in the series. 1. Growing up unloved by his father. Damon's first wound was inflicted long before he became a vampire. Giuseppe Salvatore consistently favored Stefan, praising him while treating Damon as a disappointment. This rejection planted the belief in Damon that he was inherently unworthy of love. In flashbacks, Damon seeks approval by joining the army, hoping his father would finally be proud. Instead, he receives criticism and emotional distance. This lack of validation shapes Damon's lifelong hunger for affection. Because of this upbringing, Damon learns that love must be earned through suffering. He internalizes pain as normal, which later makes him tolerate toxic relationships and emotional neglect without complaint. 2. Loving Catherine more than his own life. Damon's love for Catherine Pierce was obsessive, unconditional, and self-destructive. He accepted her vampirism willingly, believing love meant sacrificing morality, humanity, and even eternity. When Catherine chose both brothers but never exclusively Damon, his heart shattered silently. He believed she was the only one who truly saw him, only to discover he was replaceable. The moment Damon realizes Catherine never truly loved him marks the death of his emotional innocence. From that point on, he associates love with betrayal. 3. Being turned into a vampire against his will. Damon never wanted immortality. Unlike Stefan, he wished to die as a human. Catherine's manipulation and Stefan's actions force him into vampirism. This loss of choice becomes one of Damon's deepest resentments. He is condemned to an eternity he never asked for. Every century he lives afterward feels like punishment rather than a gift, reinforcing his bitterness toward existence itself. 4. Eternal hatred toward Stefan. Damon's relationship with Stefan is rooted in love, jealousy, and unresolved grief. He blames Stefan for forcing vampirism upon him, yet secretly fears losing him. Their bond is fractured by competition, misunderstanding, and guilt. Damon's cruelty toward Stefan often masks his desperation to be seen and chosen. Even when he protects Stefan, Damon rarely receives acknowledgement, deepening his emotional isolation. 5. Living with guilt for every life he took. Damon kills recklessly in early seasons, but each death leaves a scar. His humanity off switch does not erase guilt, it postpones it. When his humanity returns, the weight of his actions crushes him. He believes he deserves suffering for the pain he caused. This guilt becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, pushing Damon to sabotage his own happiness. 6. Being feared instead of loved. Damon is often treated as a monster, even when he saves lives. People expect the worst from him, regardless of his intentions. This constant suspicion convinces Damon that redemption is impossible. He stops trying because he believes goodness will never be recognized. Being feared reinforces his loneliness more than any physical wound ever could. 7. Falling in love with Elena but never feeling chosen. Damon's love for Elena is pure, protective, and selfless. Yet he spends most of that love believing she will never choose him. Watching Elena choose Stefan repeatedly destroys Damon's self-worth. He loves quietly, suffering without expectation of return. Even when Elena finally chooses Damon, he struggles to believe he is truly enough. 8. Compelling away his own pain. Damon frequently compels women to forget him, not out of cruelty but fear. He erases connections before they can abandon him. This pattern shows how deeply afraid he is of intimacy. He would rather be hated than vulnerable. Every erased memory is another relationship Damon denies himself. 9. Losing friends he finally trusted. Just when Damon begins forming bonds, with Alaric, Liz Forbes, and others, he loses them. Alaric's death devastates Damon more than he admits. Liz's passing leaves him broken and directionless. These losses confirm Damon's belief that anyone he loves will eventually leave. 10. Being forced to be the villain. Damon is often pushed into making hard choices others refuse to make. He becomes the scapegoat for survival. While others retain their moral high ground, Damon bears the blame. This role reinforces his identity as the bad one, even when his intentions are noble. These losses confirm Damon's belief that anyone he loves will eventually leave. Damon Salvatore's struggles were never about being evil, they were about being unseen. His pain came from loving deeply in a world that never protected his heart. Every sarcastic remark was armor. Every reckless act was a cry for understanding. Damon suffered because he felt everything too intensely and hid it too well. His journey teaches us that redemption is not perfection, it is persistence. In the end, Damon Salvatore survived not because he was strong, but because he finally believed he was worthy of love.